in 2022-23. Such developments in coffee prices culminated into $466 billion global traded value in 2021, with Africa earning only 0.5% of the traded value. Despite the price advantage over the past 20 years, Africa remained at the tail end, and it accounts for a mere 12% of the world's production, and the trend in the region has been steadily declining. And this appeals for a groundbreaking solution to reverse the pattern and take actions to unlock the untapped potential of the coffee industry, capitalizing on the rising world prices and our expanding regional market of nearly 1.4 billion people. Excellencies, in Tanzania, we have continued to devise new measures aimed at consolidating successes in revamping the coffee industry. So, for example, the government has continued to increase the agricultural budget for 3 consecutive fiscal years to, among others, roll out fertilizer subsidy program and upscale supply and distribution of high-yield Arabica coffee seedlings free of charge through the Tanzania Coffee Board and the Tanzania Coffee Research Institute. The target is to raise and distribute 20 million seedlings per annum. In 2022-23, 17.8 million seedlings have been distributed so far. Other interventions encompass strengthening of the coffee research and development through the Tanzania Coffee Research Institute, and due to effects of climate changes which have had detrimental effects in coffee production, such as increased incidences of pests and diseases, erratic rainfall, which made some areas unsuitable for coffee production. Tanzania has taken steps to mitigate the situation by developing coffee varieties which are drought resistant. We do hope that these varieties will be released in the coming few years after assessment trials in the field are completed. We have also scaled up extension services through local government in collaboration with cooperatives, and introduction of a 1-year certificate course in coffee quality and trade at the Moshi Cooperative University to address the shortage of extension officers. And on markets, we have introduced zonal coffee auctions such that agricultural marketing cooperatives that used to be the sole buyers are now competing with other market players, and prices are benchmarked to world prices. Excellencies, on involvement of women and youth in the coffee value chain, Tanzania has made some steps in mainstreaming gender, and the efforts include establishment of the Tanzania Women in Coffee Association, which brings together women in the coffee value chain and encourages and empowers them to grow their business in the coffee value chain. In addition, the government has established a program to train the youth in the coffee quality and trading for the purpose of building their capacity to participate in activities along the coffee value chain and fill the gap of skilled personnel in the Tanzania coffee subsector. Excellencies, in tackling financial constraints, we have recapitalized the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank. And in collaboration with commercial banks, we have re-established credit and export guarantee schemes to address shortfalls in collateral and introduce a facility at the Bank of Tanzania to support affordable agricultural financing at interest rates not exceeding 9%. Some of the achievements from the above interventions include increased coffee production by 19%, from 66.5 thousand tons in 2018-19 to 82.5 thousand tons in 2022-23. Foreign exchange earnings from coffee exports nearly doubled from $235.6 million in 2022-23 compared with $123.2 million in 2018-19. Coffee cultivated area increased from 218,966 hectares in 2018-19 to 265,000 hectares in 22-23. Excellencies, as we convene here today, let us renew our commitment to the transformation of African coffee. First, let us embrace value addition as our guiding principle. And I therefore call upon governments and the private sector to direct more energy and resources to acquire modern coffee processing facilities, roasteries, and quality packaging. Second, I urge our farmers to increasingly adopt eco-friendly farming methods to ensure that our coffee industry leaves a positive footprint on both the environment and the people it touches. And third, I wish to remind the Secretariat of the Inter-African Coffee Organization to fast-track development of the Africa Coffee Center of Excellence in Tanzania, as already agreed. And I assure you that the Tanzania government will provide all the required support. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, I'm pleased to note that Tanzania will be hosting the third G-25 African Coffee Summit next year, 2024. And in that regard, on behalf of President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, I wish to warmly welcome you to Tanzania for our next summit and continue with our journey to transform the coffee subsector. Together we can. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Excellency. A round of applause. We look forward to meeting you in Tanzania next year. Excellency, Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya.
Your Excellency, Honorable Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency's Head of State and Government, the Chairman of the Inter-Africa Coffee Organization, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I first take this opportunity to sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for hosting this very important summit. Equally, let me convey the salutations and solidarity of His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto to you and to the people of Uganda. It is gratifying and encouraging that the African community gathers here in Kampala to reflect on and celebrate the Africa coffee sector. Indeed, this summit is an affirmation of our collective commitment to support transformative reforms in our coffee sector. As African leaders, we also laud and commend initiatives under the Inter-African Coffee Organization of transforming the African coffee sector through value addition, a theme that resonates well with our aspirations. It is on this firm commitment that Kenya hosted the first G-25 African Coffee Summit in Nairobi from 25th to 27th May 2022, which was attended by 41 African countries. During the Nairobi Summit, the African coffee producing countries made the following declarations on the Africa coffee sector. First, to include coffee among the strategic agricultural commodities. This will enable the continent to identify, formulate, and drive the implementation of policies and solutions for higher returns in the sector. Second, to support production and research, enhance transparency and traceability of origins, encourage youth employment and empowerment of women, allocate more land for coffee production, incentivize farmers, support coffee research, and offer technical assistance to farmers. Third, to enhance access to finance through government-backed schemes, African Coffee Facility Fund, and support for the African Export-Import Bank, AfriExim, the African Development Bank, and the African Union. And fourth, to address value addition and domestic consumption by opening up domestic markets and share knowledge on the health benefits of coffee and investment in value addition. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, coffee is an important export commodity for many African countries and has the potential of unlocking the continent's prosperity, foster inclusive growth, boost economic growth, and lead to rapid transformation of the continent. Your Excellency, let me echo some of your statistics. African coffee accounts for about 12% of the world's coffee production, making it the second largest, most traded commodity in Africa after oil. In the year 2021-2022, for example, Africa's coffee production registered a dismal performance of 19.27 million bags of coffee, compared to a global production of 167.2 million bags in the same period. This is a paltry 11.5% against a potential of 40% attributable to Africa's comparative advantage in land acreage, rainfall, and fertile soils. As a continent, we must develop appropriate strategies to reverse this negative trend and reclaim our position on the global coffee platform. Ladies and gentlemen, domestic consumption of coffee, of African coffee, remains dismal. Africa consumes less than 10% of our value-added coffee, while consumption of imported coffee is on the increase. At the same time, Africa is a net importer of about 12 million bags of coffee, much of which is value-added. Paradoxically, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Africa exports 11 million bags, mainly raw coffee, and imports more value-added coffee. In the process, the continent loses much on job creation, foreign exchange, to mention but a few. In the Kenyan context, coffee is grown in 33 counties out of a total of 47 counties by an estimated 800,000 smallholder growers aggregated into 590 cooperative societies and 2,700 coffee estates with a total acreage of 109,000 hectares dedicated to coffee production. Kenya recognizes the strategic role the coffee subsector plays towards the country's economic growth and vertical integration. Specifically, coffee is a major source of employment, poverty alleviation, food security, foreign exchange, and generally contributes to the livelihood of many Kenyans and is estimated to support directly and indirectly over 5 million Kenyans along the coffee value chain. Kenya pledges for sustainable development to prioritize agriculture as one of the top 6 pillars in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, where all cash crop production is nationalized with compensation of farmers. Cognizance of this, Kenya has prioritized coffee as one of the quick turnaround key subsectors in our economic development model, popularly known as the bottom-up economic transformative agenda, BETTER, as espoused in the Kenya Kwanza Government Manifesto for 2022 to 2027. Looking at the historical performance, the coffee subsector attained remarkable growth soon after independence, leading to the growth of an all-time high production of 130,000 metric tons in 1987-1988 during the famous coffee boom. Currently, coffee production has been declining due to challenges such as climate change vagaries, perennial price volatility, market access, and low domestic consumption, among others. The decline in production has adversely affected farmers' earnings and their livelihoods. Your Excellencies, Kenya has come up with various initiatives to reverse the declining performance of the coffee sector. The initiatives include e-voucher fertilizer input subsidy program for coffee farmers, rollout of the coffee revitalization program, establishment of the Cherry Advanced Revolving Fund, coffee credit financing through the establishment of Commodities Fund to provide affordable finance credit for coffee farming and other agricultural produce, as well as review of the subsector's legislation. I am convinced that these reform initiatives will bear fruit by increasing Kenya's coffee production from the current 51,000 metric tons realized in 2021-2022 to 100,000 metric tons by the year 2025, thereby contributing to an increase in Africa's coffee production globally. The African Continental Free Trade Area provides opportunities for the acceleration of the inter-African trade. We must therefore take advantage of this vast market potential for Africa by promoting domestic consumption of and boosting African-grown coffee, besides boosting trade position in the global market. Kenya is a good example of promoting inter-African coffee trade in coffee. Kenya's coffee imports from African countries have grown tremendously over a 5-year period from 3 metric tons in 2019-2010 to 857 metric tons in 2022-2023. In the same period, Kenya's coffee exports to African countries reduced from 1,064 metric tons to 212 metric tons, a decrease of 80%. Not very good statistics there. What does this probably show? That Kenya is at the forefront of promoting inter-Africa coffee trade, while majority are not embracing the spirit of the African Free Trade Area. Your Excellencies, with these few remarks, I look forward to fruitful deliberations and concrete outcomes that will indeed bolster the share of Africa in the global coffee market. I wish to assure you of my commitment and support in this endeavor. Finally, I wish to extend our sincere appreciation to the leadership of ICAO for organizing such a robust event. I thank you. Asante sana. God bless you all. And I will go and take my cup of coffee. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. The Prime Cabinet Secretary of Kenya, yes, coffee is served and it's delicious. So it's Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and the birthplace of Robusta coffee, while Ethiopia is the birthplace of Arabica. Your Excellencies, allow me now to request the ministers leading various delegations, we have quite a number, but we'll give each strictly 3 minutes to give you a brief statement such that we can all capture our views and move together before signing the declaration. We'll have the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock and Rural Development, from the Republic of Equatorial Guinea and would be followed by the Minister of Trade from the Republic of Togo. 3 minutes each, and I hope the translation is working. Equatorial Guinea, Honorable Minister.
Excelentísimo señor presidente de la hermana República de Uganda, excelentísimos señores presidentes de los 25 estados solidarios y miembros de la Organización Interafricana de Café, excelentísimos señores ministros de Agricultura aquí presente, excelentísimo señor secretario general de la Organización Interafricana, señores representantes de las organizaciones y asociaciones de productores de café, señoras y señores. Séame permitido, señor presidente, extender a los aquí presentes los cordiales y fraternales saludos de su excelencia Obiangema Bazogo, presidente de la República de Guinea Ecuatorial, quien por agenda interna de su última hora no ha podido asistir en este magno evento africano, pero que por su espíritu panafricanista sigue de cerca el desarrollo del mismo al tiempo que asegura el perfecto éxito de esta cumbre. Excelentísimo señor presidente, debo expresar mi gratitud y la profunda satisfacción en tanto la iniciativa de la cumbre como la atención prestada, así como la perfecta organización reservada a mi humilde persona y a la delegación que me acompaña. La delegación de Guinea Ecuatorial que tengo el honor de representar en esta cumbre agradece y felicita la iniciativa de la Organización Interafricana de Café y del Gobierno de Uganda por reunir a los africanos productores de café en tanto para analizar la situación actual de ese producto que ha sido la base de la economía que ha aumentado la renta per cápita de nuestros países. Que también la ocasión sea propicia para estudiar y analizar la problemática de la producción de café, su proyección para la efectiva transformación.
For effective transformation of this sector for the well-being. As it is known, the Republic of Equatorial Guinea of my country has been one of the most important co-producer, especially Robusta variety, which in the past has promoted a strong commitment
superación y supervivencia, todo ello gracias a las condiciones naturales de nuestras tierras favorables, ricas y productivas para la mejor producción.
Which are favorable, rich and productive land for the best production of coffee, for the best production of condition. In the past, our country produced 10,000 metric tons of commercial coffee with an extension in a superficial surface area of 20,000 hectares. But at present time, the production has decreased drastically due to drastically severe factors, mainly external factors, the volatility price driven by consumer market price, driven by consumer market, and other internal factors and other internal factors. The aging of plantations, lack of research and improvement of productivity, the reduction of agricultural labor force, lack of attraction of young people in the productive sector, the absence of local processing product to add value of the product. These factors have contributed to the loss of farmers' interest in coffee cultivation. His Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished minister, despite these negative effects that we have highlighted at the beginning, the government of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, aware of the importance of the coffee sector in its economy, of the coffee sector, has designed a program of economic diversification towards Horizon 2035, through which the agriculture subsector and agriculture sector is envisaged as capable of guaranteeing both the United Nations Social Development Goals of the United Nations and the objectives of the African Union 263. However, the country is initiating the rehabilitation of the coffee through a private company, Matro Guisa, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, through the establishment of 100 hectares of nurseries, Robusta, of varieties of pure stock tested and adapted to our soil and environmental condition. The role of the Ministry of Agriculture is to sensitize and attract the population in the promotion and extension of the coffee sector through the national territory. The participants, the delegation of Equatorial Guinea supports the Declaration of Kampala for 2023 for the promotion and development of the coffee sector and for an effective transformation and a sense of the product in favor of producers themselves. We support at the same time that the scientific research for the innovation of the sector integrated into the value chain in order to attract young people to the production process in order to process in such a way that we will be able to increase the productivity in production as well as the self-esteem in production of the population, to promote the local transformation of product and facilitate increased consumption of our own products, as has been to say, consume what you produce and produce what you consume. All these will avoid the high importation products from abroad, as highlighted here by main speakers. In the same way, we must ensure the quality and control of these products in order to guarantee the health of our population. At the same time, in order to is recommended to the to effectively promote coffee sector and its effective continuity to finance, to ensure sustainable financing mechanisms which must be supported by the member countries. This requires that producing countries themselves be the designers of the value chain of the coffee producer. Likewise, the Republic of Equatorial Guinea supports guidelines of an inclusive African policy of an inclusive to facilitate the development of our countries. So the Republic of Equatorial Guinea supports the creation of an inter-African free trade zone and advocates for the framework of a fair price for raw material. The product of coffee can be an element of solidarity for every African. Ladies and gentlemen, the Equatorial Guinea Republic, taking into account the negative effects of climate change in our agriculture in general and coffee in particular, we support all initiatives aimed at scientific research with the main objective developing and adapting the objective of developing and adapting varieties to climate aggressiveness, pests, and diseases endemic to our areas. Not to be so long, I am here to say thank you so much for your attention deserved to me.
I think the translation had a problem, but we had one word, gracias. But the Secretariat has translated it into English for the record. Republic of Togo, Honorable Ministers, we have a good 3 minutes because their excellencies will be departing. Thank you.
Excellences, Monsieur le Président de la République d'Ouganda,
Madame, the President of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, the Vice President of the Republic of Tanzania, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, and ambassadors, ministers, President of the Inter-African Coffee Organization, President of the African Coffee Associations, and the President of the Coffee Association in Madagascar, distinguished Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I would like to start by conveying the greetings from our President. The organization of this important high-level meeting, thank you very much. The President of the Republic of Congo recognizes the importance of this meeting. He would have loved to participate personally, to reply to the invitation that was given to him by his friend, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. But because of some problems that happened at the last minute, he asked me to represent him. Mr. President, I would like to convey to you the greetings and gratitude of your friend and brother. I would like to thank the authorities and the people of Uganda for the warm greetings and welcome that they have extended to us since our arrival in Uganda. Honorable invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we can never echo this enough. Coffee growing is very strategic in our different economies. The 25 African countries put in place this G-25 summit in order to underscore the fact that coffee must be one of the strategic crops to appear in the agenda, African Union agenda. Our country exports more than 95% of the coffee. That's why we would like to thank the organization, the organizers of this meeting, for the work that they have done to transform the coffee sector by embracing value addition. So this is a very important thing, and we believe that this is going to help people in embrace consumption of coffee at local level. So this coffee sector must be transformed to become competitive, and putting emphasis on quality, profitability with all the actors and particularly the producers. So this framework is very important, and our president is going to put a lot of emphasis on agribusiness and transformation of the raw materials, because we know the coffee is very important in the development of our countries, and if we have this value chain developed in our countries, it will be very good. However, our countries continue to produce and export coffee as a raw material instead of a finished product. So it is very clear that I would say that brothers and sisters, our country is enriching the foreign countries. Africa is enriching the foreign countries more than itself. So it is high time we embraced value addition at national and international level by transforming the sector, encouraging local consumption, and we should also embrace the free trade area. So Togo is committing itself to embrace the transformation of coffee production, and also we have a strategy where we have to have productive agriculture with high value addition. So coffee was introduced in Togo during the time of the colonial moments, and we have Arabica coffee, but later Robusta coffee was also introduced. So we are ready to improve the quality of coffee. In 2000, we started the small artisanal industries and semi-industries that are transforming coffee. So with the support of that, coffee begins to prosper.
Let's have the Minister from the Republic of Angola, followed by the Republic of Malawi. Kindly 3 minutes.
Excelência, Senhor Presidente da República do Uganda,
President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency, Head of States and Government who are present in this summit, Excellency, the Secretary General of the International Organization, Inter-African Organization of Coffee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great gratitude that in the name of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Angola, Dr. João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, I come to the participants to this summit of coffee in this wonderful city of Kampala. I avail of this opportunity to thank the invitation of His Excellency, the President Yoweri Museveni, sent to his by the President of the Republic of Angola, which gives us honor and gives us privilege at the same time to manifest our sincere gratitude for the organization to this very important event. Excellencies, the summit of the African coffee of G-25 takes place at a crucial time in the right country with the topic transforming the African coffee through value addition, which is in line with the African Union Agenda 2023 on the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, and at the time when we are witnessing the growth of coffee crop in regions that were considered to have low production, such as Uganda, but which today has become the second largest coffee producer in Africa and the 9th at the world level. Angola is a founding member of the Inter-African Coffee Organization, one of the oldest intergovernmental organizations in the continent, whose main mission is to assist member countries to address the challenges of the coffee sector, proposing solutions that ensure sustainable production, coffee research, access to markets, promotion, and the well-paid prices. Angola is a producer of Robusta and Arabica coffee, whose production is one of the eldest in the sub-Saharan Africa and dates back to the beginning of the 19th century. The first production was recorded in 1830, and despite the drop in production levels observed in recent decades, coffee is still one of the main agricultural products in Angola. Ladies and gentlemen, considering the importance of coffee as a wealth to a country whose production has an impact on the economic and the social aspects, on environmental preservation and rebirth of forest ecosystems, on cultural roots, and generates revenue for producers. The government of Angola has been seriously investing in revitalization of the national coffee sector. For household sector, there are ongoing programs to promote coffee production through the supply of seedlings, which aim to introduce new plants, both Robusta and Arabic coffee plants, and will resist that any increase in the production of these seedlings in our nurseries at our National Institute of Coffee that has been working in partnership with the private sector will definitely boost this sector. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Angola has institutionalized the program Made in Angola with the objective, among others, to promote the national manufacturing industry, to display products made in Angola, to select and support business initiatives. The main actions under this program include, among others, to create the basis to finance the productive activity and the consequent value addition to the coffee produced in Angola. The promotion of coffee production in non-traditional areas and revitalization of Arabic coffee in the highlands of the Angolan plateau led to an increase in Arabic coffee production from traditional 5% to 15% today. The post-harvest production system has deserved special attention because it greatly determines the quality of the coffee. The Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry has been working closely with the Minister of Foreign Affairs to promote the Angolan coffee abroad, participating in thematic trade fairs which are being held in several countries. Recently, within the scope of economic diplomacy, events were held in Vietnam, in United Arab Emirates, in Japan, in Serbia, Algeria, and Morocco. Events called Coffee of Angola, Connecting Worldwide Cultures. His Excellency, Mr. President Yoweri Museveni, finally, allow me, on my behalf and on behalf of my delegation, to thank the hospitality and by all efforts and commitment of the Uganda government to organize this important summit of